Next, what we're going to do is run an import of our users and get them created so we can then associate them with blog entries later on. So I'm going to go to Structure, Feeds Importers, and what we'll do is override the existing user import feeds importer. Now this is the one that we installed as one of the examples in the examples feeds module. And because this is so close to what we're trying to accomplish, we'll just go ahead and override it. So just like before, let's go through these settings here and make sure we understand what's going on. So under basic settings, we'll go ahead and click settings. We have the name, the description, and just like before, we'll set it to use standalone form. This will allow us to import without creating any nodes as a result of the import itself. What this would do if we did attach it to a content type is save some information about the import as a node, but we don't need to do that. We're not going to periodically import. We're going to import when we submit the form, and we don't need a process in the background because it's not a huge import. For the fetcher, we're using file upload just like we did before. Let's check out the settings just to make sure it's in line with what we want. The allowed file extensions include CSV, so we're good to go there. We don't need to supply a path to the file that we'll be uploading, so we can leave that unchecked. Okay, for our parser, we're using the CSV parser, just like we did before. I'll click Settings here. We can set the default delimiter, which is a comma, as per usual. And we do have some headers, so we don't want to check this. And then finally, we have our processor, and it's using the user processor this time instead of the node processor. Let's check out the settings. So this first setting, replace existing users, comes into play when we run an import using this feeds importer multiple times. We'll only do it once, and it will work out, but if it didn't, we could roll back and then import again. But this can be useful if we have a CSV file that's going to change over time and we want to import, and in the process, delete the existing users that have the same unique information as users we're importing and replace them with the new import. We talked about skipping the hash check before. A hash is the way that feeds can tell whether there has been some change to information on the import. For text format, we don't have to really worry about this because there's not going to be a body associated with this user. When we import, we want our users to be active rather than blocked. We scroll down here. We can set a set of roles to attach to these users. We're going to leave this unchecked for now. At some point, we'll create a new contributor role, but for now, we're just going to leave this as is. And finally, diffuse email addresses allows us to add some text to the email address to make it not work, so we don't accidentally import some users and send out content to them that we didn't intend on sending them. Okay, so we didn't make any adjustments here. Let's take a look at the mapping.